Well, very good afternoon, everybody. I welcome you all to the third session of this Earth series, The Role of Conservation Education, a special program which features best of the minds across the globe who are working on the conservation of our natural resources, the Mother Earth. Today, before we start, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. D.L. Maheshwar ji, to present the opening remarks and set the tone for the event.
Thank you, Mr. Shazil. Namaste and good afternoon to everyone. At the outset, on behalf of the Bharatiya Engineering Science Technology Innovation University, let me acknowledge the support and the mentorship guidance given by the chairman of the BESTIU University and the former Additional Chief Secretary of Government of Karnataka, Sri Bharat Meena ji, Dr. Rupa Vasudevan, the Chancellor of the BESTIU University, Dr. Manmohan Singh, the Senior Advisor and the former Special Chief Secretary to Government of Andhra Pradesh, and we have Dr. Ayla Al-Jufri from World Forum of Education, and my dear faculty members and students. This being the third series of the national issues concerning the promotion of nature, in the sense the one who nurtures the nature is the one who has contributed something to the globe and to the planet. With this intention, the BESTIU University is focusing on, apart from the education, scientific education, even the value-based issues are also going to be, promoted in the lines of conservation, in the lines of innovation, and also through collaboration. With this intention, the value-added education is being imparted from the BESTIU, meaning over a period of time, the students, the young generation, are going to be equipped with the knowledge, appropriate understanding, and skills to manage certain core issues along with the education. In this context, we have promoted a new concept of education, meaning conservation education. Conservation education is the one which is going to involve the emotions, the feelings, the understanding, the attitudes of the individuals towards the supportive nature ecosystem around us. So in this context, there are a lot of activities are there in this conservation education, but from the BESTIU University, we have shortlisted three major issues, which are the indigenous knowledge system, the earth, and the culinary part. Amongst the three, the indigenous knowledge system, which embodies the concepts around the fabric, textile, art, music, culture, dance, etc. So thereby the indigenous knowledge system, we are going to trace back, we are going to account for it, we are going to document it. Similarly, amongst the Earth series includes the environment, the concept of climate change, energy, soil, and water. How these elements are of relevance to the human existence will be addressed in that particular theme. Thirdly, it is the culinary issues, culinary aspects, as to how the qualitative part of the ingredients have been attributed, have been supported the human system, how the earlier indigenous ways of food preparation vis-a-vis the scientific relevance for health concerns are going to be not only been analyzed, they are going to be documented. So in the sense, the knowledge, erstwhile knowledge and the present skill are going to be analyzed systematically to go in for a better futuristic understanding in generations to come. So that is how the BEST University has initiated this Earth series of webinars, and this has been involved with several subject experts who can share their experience to suggest as to what is the impact of that and what is the influence of that. Besides, their views in the form of insights and projections in the sort of vision, they're also going to be included. So this particular approach has been intended from this BEST IU University is to see to that these efforts are going to be long lasted. These efforts are going to be for the next futuristic generation. So in this context, we are now educating the young mass, the youth on these issues. I'm very sure that the speakers in this webinar are going to address on the importance of the agriculture, importance of the medicinal plants, importance of the heritage plants for the sustenance of the livelihood of the present generation. And also we have experts from the forest sector as to how the environment is going to be supported, promoted, and guided by the features around. So I'm sure the students, the faculty, and the viewers who are attending this particular webinar are going to be benefited on this. With this note, I welcome all the participants and to take the best advantage of this webinar. Thank you. Thank you. Now to Mr. Shazil Ahmed.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. D.L. Maheshwar for setting the tone for the event. You rightly highlighted the role of conservation education, which we are seeking advice right now from the experts who are there in the conference. I would also like to mention that this conference is right now streamed on Facebook and YouTube channels of Best Innovation University and World Forum for Education. And once again, I request everyone, apart from the speakers, to kindly switch off your cameras and microphones so that we have a seamless connectivity. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite our very special guest today, who hails from Israel, Dr. Rivki Ophir. She is a scientist at the Dead Sea and Arava Science Center, and also has been part of many of the conferences, has shared valuable insights in the past. We request Dr. Rivki Ophir to share your inputs. And also, in order to present, on the right-hand side bottom corner, you have a present now button.
Okay, but how can I see my PowerPoint? I don't see my PowerPoint. Okay, so how can I see my PowerPoint in your place? I don't know.
Once you click on present now and then click on share, you will be able to see what you're sharing on the screen. When you share the entire screen, that will be visible to us.
I don't, and unfortunately, I don't see it. Just 1 minute. Something went wrong. Cancel. So I'm here. Present now. To do present now or share your screen. What do you do? There is one option to do full screen, and there is one option to do present now. What should I do?
Yes, Rivki, what you need to do is on the right hand side, you see present now, you click present now.
Yes.
See entire screen, now you click entire screen.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now you see a new dialog box that is opened, yeah? When you
but I see you. I see only you. I don't see my PowerPoint.
No, you won't see it yet. So when you click entire screen, on the right hand side, when you click entire screen, a small dialog box will open up.
Full screen. I did full screen. Okay, and then
did you see the small dialog box opening up? Just go there and double click.
I don't see dialogue. I see myself, okay. And I see myself. I see myself, but I don't see the screen.
No, all to do is just click this entire screen on the right hand side. In present now, there is an option. Shazil, just
Full screen. It's called. I already did the entire screen, but I don't see the option to see my
dialog box.
Yes, I don't see the dialogue box. I see myself. I see.
Okay, Dr. Rifki, on the right-hand side, bottom corner,
Yes.
there is a button present now.
Present now. Yes. Okay. Present now. Yes.
Could you please click on that?
Okay. And then I see, what should I find here? I see your entire screen. Shall I do
click on
your
entire screen?
Okay. But where can I find my PowerPoint?
No, once you click on your entire screen, then open the PowerPoint on your computer. We will be able to see that.
If I open my, you can't. Do you see my? You probably don't see my thing. Do you see my thing?
Only if you click on your entire screen, we'll be able to see your screen.
I did it already. I made one again.
Okay, once you click on your entire screen, you need to click on share. You have an
share,
option.
okay, share. But I don't have the share your entire screen, so I did it. And then I don't find a place where I can find my, I just see you, I don't see.
Just a moment. So once you click on share your entire screen, you will see another dialog box which opens up, right?
So now I am in entire screen, and now I need to do present now, or what?
Yeah. Please click on present now.
Okay, and I see your entire screen, present your entire screen, a window, maybe a Chrome tab. What should I find? I don't know what should I do.
You need to
Because
click on that, double click on that.
Or what, on the entire screen?
Yeah, kindly click on your entire screen and then let me know what happens on the screen.
I see only myself, but I don't see I don't find a way to find my PowerPoint. So I don't know how to. So I present it now in the entire screen, but I don't see my PowerPoint.
We can see your screen. Can you open your PowerPoint now on your computer?
Yes, it is open. Yes, it is open.
We can see the PowerPoint now.
We see it.
Do you see it? Do you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Rupa, do you see my PowerPoint? Do you recognize my PowerPoint?
I do, dear Ripki. I do. Perfect. Yes, I can see it.
Okay, so thank you very much. So sorry for the delay. So I'm living in the desert, and basically we face the issue of environment all the time. And the topic of my lecture will be how to work together, environment and agriculture, how to educate environment conservation, how scientists can deliver their research on various aspects of the environment, and how environment serve human being, food security and drug development. Do you hear me? Am I clear?
Yes, you are.
Do you hear me, and do you see my things that I'm telling you? Yes? Do you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So basically the first issue, because we are a very farming area for many years, like from the Independence Day. So the main question is how to teach and combine nature and environment in farming community. You can see that in order to arrange our fields and greenhouses, we need to work on nature, and we need to be very soft with nature. Like, for example, if we face the acacia trees, we want to move it in such a way that it will grow in another place. So this is how we deal with very respect to nature. On the other end, we can think about how scientists can bring science to the people in the outback and tell them about the issue of the environment. And you can see me here lecturing to kids from all ages. We also have them going out to nature, appreciate the family life of many birds and how trees can grow in nature. On the other end, we found a nice system to share our knowledge with the kids and the community about nature and environment in what we called once a year Science Day. And the kids of all the area come together to share our finding and our knowledge on archaeology, geology, and bacteria, plant, etc. So this is another way of transferring knowledge from scientists to the community. We have a very interesting system in our area, how to share our knowledge even with students that come from abroad. We call it Arava International School for Agriculture Training, ICAT, in environment studies and food security. And this is the main issue that are learned there. And the students are coming from many, many countries. And one of the group, we decided to teach them more than other about the environment. We call them Leadership Development Program, because we want to help them to appreciate nature. And for example, the main tree in our region, which is called acacia. I want to try to see whether you can see me, or it doesn't matter that you don't see me.
Yes, we see the benefits of acacia.
No, but you don't want to see my face, so it doesn't matter, okay?
No, we see you on the right-hand side.
You see me. Excellent. Okay. So basically, we teach them about the benefits of acacia, and they were able to learn how people can benefit from the acacia trees, which are the main trees in our area. I know that India also have these kinds of trees in Africa. And also they learn why we need to keep nature and environment for the animal to survive. So if we speak about generation of animals and trees, this tree is very important in our area. And there are many ways how we make these trees familiar with the kids and tell them the story about the trees and the birds on the trees, including the fruit and how the flower and the thorn and everything which is important for the community life of the animals and the people in the desert. And we learn many aspects of the trees, what is their size and how they are grown and depend on water, because we can learn from the environment of the acacia how they are really get used to very low amount of water. And we can take this information and use it in another way, like in agriculture. And also we decided to teach this student, and I will go quite fast, through the nice flowers in the desert. Amazingly, we have very nice flowers. And we shall come back to this important flower, Astricus graveolus, because it has a very nice content against diseases of cancer. And this, for example, Ephedra aphyllea, I know that you have it in India as well, and it is important also for cancer, for anti-cancer. So we learn from how these plants are growing in the desert and see how we can adopt their way of surviving, and also how they generate their important content in order to use it for the benefit of the world. And basically, we already know that the benefit of wildflower growing in the Arava Desert for people, it provides a compound and assets which are very good against disease of other plants like fungicides and bacteria against bacteria. They have important compounds which are generated only in the condition of the desert. So we really need to keep the desert and the environment of the desert in order to have all the value of the plant. And of course, for animals, there are nutrition, and they bring them nectar and pollen for the breeds, and there are birds, and there are many interaction between the trees, the environment of the trees and nature, and the animals in the desert. So if we go back to the ICAT, basically we decided to work with them, with these people that come from many, many countries on two assets. One, environment preservation, and one, a very important thing, food security. Because we all know that the environment become more salty, more desert, and we need to find, and the population is growing, and we need to find a way how we can feed all this population. And there are many, many challenges that we already for more than 40 years are working through. Is the climate, isolation, and the water that become more and more salty. So basically, we have much knowledge about how to use the drip irrigation in order to have maximum production. We know how to benefit from the isolation because we usually have the product early or late in the season, so we are unique in the time. And we really learn how to cope with the climate. But we always need to continue with the research because the water become less and less good for all these plants. So basically, there is kind of interaction from one side with the farmers, which has a lot of knowledge, because we can call it like a high-tech or low-tech, because in the end, we pick up the fruit by ants, but the way we grow them is very high-techy. And we also have the ICAT, which is the way that we decided how to share our information with the world in order to preserve environment wherever people are interested to do it. I know that lately there was a group from India even that came to our ICAT to a short course and learn some aspect of agriculture in the desert. And as I said, we have advanced agriculture and R&D in the area of more agriculture and more, and on the other side, more biotechnology. Our students come from many, many countries. We can see even from India. I know that last year I mentored a very nice student from India. I hope she has a good luck in India when she went back. And annually we have more than 1,000 students. And all of them, including us, we remember Albert Einstein when he said, only those who will risk going too far can possibly find out how far one can go. And this is our mantra that we basically follow for more than 40 years now. And the output of this program was that the Dean family decided to give very small grants, but something that that the student can really show what they learn and develop some small business in their community when they go back to the state. And I want to show you 3 examples. One has decided he wanted small grant to open a business where he dried rice production, so you don't need to be dependent on every year crop. And this is how he planned to do it. And the other one was about cassava. And the third one was how to implement the knowledge about drip irrigation in order to maximum the crop. So basically, 3 students were able, out of the other, were able to get a grant and show how they cope with the difficult environment they have in their own countries, if it is desert or a place where there is no rain at all, how they can cope with food for good. I want to elaborate a little bit about the Arava Rnd, which is basically the resource for knowledge on how to live together with the environment and how to exploit the goodies found in the environment. So we are very keen to preserve and sometimes preserve in order that things that are going to be eliminated, to see how we can make them sustainable. Like there are many plants that we call them the red plants, and we try to collect their seeds and make cultivars and grow them. I didn't follow my watch, and I want to know how much time I have, if somebody can tell me.
Rivki, you must continue. We are eager to listen to you. It's okay.
Thank you.
So we have 2 units in our R&D is agriculture, which has many area like soil and water and herbs and aquaculture and plant protection, which we do it very nicely with consideration of environment. And we have also ecological and scientific R&D, which become a source for biotechnology project. I will speak a little bit more deep on my project. I collect all the plants from the desert. It's 250 plants. I have a library of these plants, and I decided I want to find what is good in them against disease in human or in the field, in the crops, in order to be more environmental friendly. And so we look for biopesticides from this library. Especially we are looking for bionematocide, biofungicide, and bioherbicide, because we don't want to use chemical. We want to be friendly to the environment. So we want to take it from the environment and not damage the environment. And also I took it to even step further, and I want to find the health beneficials in plant metabolites. I have the fear that some plants maybe disappear from our world because of the climate changes, and then I want that we shall be able to consume all what nature gave us. So basically, in order to do this area, we collect the plants, make the extract, and try to use it for pharmaceutical. And we all know that 80% of the pharmaceuticals that we use now originate from a plant sometimes in the past. And to me, focus on this Astragalus graveolens, the student from Jordan that did master with me, she already finished her doctorate, and I'm very proud of her. She found that, for example, one of the plants contains something very important against cancer, and can work together with non-chemotherapy in order to make less damage to the people once they are treated with the chemotherapy, because this plant has something very good. We all drink tea of this plant, and we are happy to use it, and now we are in the process of trying to make a plantation of this plant in case people want to do even big fields out of this plant. And another important plant which taught me a lot about desert is this Achillea fragmentosa, and I learned from this nice plant that irrigation and all the goodies that we do in the farming, I don't get the important compounds that nature gives me. So I need to appreciate very much the environment and the condition in the environment, because they have a lot to offer. And when we try to mimic it, we need to learn how to mimic nature. And I learned from it very important thing. of course, in the end, we do some patents or sometimes try to develop a biotechnology. And I maybe just finish to say that the desert has a desert chemistry. So the desert compounds are novel, and we need to appreciate it and take care of it. And there is many ways how to learn it. And so basically I start in the desert, I do my research, and then go back to the farm and mimic the desert environment. Has a lot to offer. And in the end, I just want to say that the plants that many people speak about, like cannabis, we need to know that the content of this plant is very dependent on how we grow it. So nature has a lot to offer, and if we really want to use its product for our health. And I want to end up by inviting you all to visit me in my small place in the Arava, and Rupa can recommend it.
Thank you, Dr. Rivki. It was such an exhaustive, wonderful presentation. And let me tell all you viewers and participants who are here that every word of Rivki said, I have witnessed it in real. And I have been amazed at the brilliance of the people of Israel. With virtually zero water and highest salinity levels, the kind of food and fruits and vegetables they grow, it's only unimaginable and unbelievable. Only when you go there, you know what they do. And that's why I think being the newest, smallest country, it has been able to solve the world's most hunger problems by exporting fruits and vegetables across the globe. And what quality, my God. And Rivki, just between you and me, I recollect to remember our dear friend Boaz, who is not with us today, but I had some very, very beautiful time spent learning from him how much you put in efforts in the Arava Research Center. We remember him today, Boaz. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So much, Rivki. I can't wait. I'll come and visit you soon as this corona is over with a team of students and faculties, for sure.
Excellent. I'm looking forward for it to share with you everything we know about environment and how it's important to keep the environment and the method we develop in order to keep the environment for other generations.
I invite you to our conference in the Himalayas in December. We'll work it separately from this platform.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay,
I am always after you.
Yes. Thank you. Means a
Bye,
lot.
bye.
Don't
Bye,
forget,
bye.
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 Wow. What a wonderful interaction. Thank you very much, Dr. Rupa Vasudevan for actually complementing the presentation. Actually, I couldn't have done it better. Thank you very much for that support. And Dr. Rivki Ophir, I mean, your training on environment protection and food security, it is very inspiring. And it is the need of the hour, especially with an objective of how to live together with the environment and how to exploit the good in the environment. So this is actually the need of the hour. And also we from India over here, we are making efforts to ensure the importance of the conservation education reaches all the student community, and everyone across the world understands that it is actually a high time that we think and we actually focus on preserving our environment. And also just a small fact, you mentioned about acacia trees, right? It's a very good source of perfume, and I really like that a lot. And also, I'm sure, I mean, you will be the best person to comment. There's in Ethiopia, the nectar of these trees was used to cure rabies back in the early 1900s. So I think we have a lot to learn, and that short presentation was just not enough. We would love to have more from you in the coming future. Thank you so much, Rivki Ophir, for addressing the conference.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye and see you soon.
Thank you. And also, I would also request you, there is this blue button in the center, stop presenting, if you could, right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our special guest, Rivki Ophir. We just couldn't have enough from the intellectual mind. I mean, the great inventors, they create products for themselves. This is what one of the venture capitalists had from the Matrix partners had said in a conference recently, which I heard. And I think, we have a result in front of us, that is Dr. EmFace. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite our expert speaker for the day, Dr. B.K. Singh. Dr. B.K. Singh ji is a former chief conservator of forests in the government of Karnataka. I request Dr. B.K. Singh ji to address the conference now. Singh Sahab, you need to unmute yourself. There is a red button in the center of the screen. My humble apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We are having slight technical issue. Shri B.K. Singh ji, you have to click on the unmute button, sir. There is a red button with a microphone icon. If you may click on that to unmute. Humble apologies, sir. We are still not able to hear you because your microphone is on mute.
Shazil, can you control this with the host?
My apologies, Dr. Rupa ji. As of now, Google has not enabled these functions to control this as a host. So we can only mute people. We are unable to unmute. Right, we are trying to reach Dr. B.K. Singh ji over telephone. And just give us a moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with you shortly. In the meanwhile, while we bring Dr. B.K. Singh ji on the line, I request Dr. D.L. Maheshwar ji to actually impress upon us on the initiatives of the terrace farming, which has been undertaken, and also the Eco Ganesha. So the plant Ganesha, which has been done by the BESTIU students. So while we bring Dr. B.K. Singh ji, I think that our audience would love to hear about it.
Yeah, thank you, Shazil. Now, in the recent, event and the occasion of celebrating the Ganesha program, there are several, initiatives and proposals and plans were seen from the students. And one of our best IU University student could able to design a eco Ganpati, eco idol with earth and cow dung and with certain seeds. So as the soil gets dissolved and the seeds going to absorb the moisture and they are going to sprout as seedlings. So that's how even the waste of the idol could able to generate life out of that. So that was the concept that student has made. Fine. Now the next step from eco idol and eco activities would be towards going on bio methods, biological methods, biological contents, like it may be a leaf, we can use sheath, we can use fronds, we can use dry leaves, we can use flowers, we can use fruits, vegetables, coconut, plantation crops. You see, all put together, we can really combine and come out with a new models of biomodules. So these biomodules are very safe, 100% ecologically neutral, then consumer friendly, consumer access is also easy for that, and it will not be very not expensive. So such being the case, it is the challenge for the knowledge to be translated into a skill to design those, biological idols. So which may be, some are maybe for a temporary period, and some are for long duration retention also could be done. So now the students are to be exposed for that skill operation. How we can go for carving of the fruits, carving of the vegetables, then a mixing of vegetables with the fruit. You see, this type of combinations one can do. And these are all quite environmental friendly also. And this is not available so large in the market. Now it is hardly to get such type of designs and plants in the market. Now the students who are in the agrarian sector, who are into the agriculture sector, who are in the forestry sector, who are in the horticulture sector, so they can design a module by incorporating these biological structures for designing these idols, and even for certain occasions we can exclusively use these structures for better depiction of the program. Friends, maybe in days to come that we can develop idols with all these plant-based materials. Number two, even for painting of those idols, we can use these biological pigments, biological colors. Whatever the dried flowers we see after being used, they are dried, but they can be used for the extraction of pigment. So they are the natural pigments we can use for painting purpose, we can use for fabric painting, we can use for sweets, we can use for drugs. So that is the ample opportunity of these pigments which can be used for the for the human utility purpose of it. So in days to come that even the biological materials could also be extracted in terms of pigments, coloring agents and all. They have a wide scope in the open market. So maybe in days to come, let the student force be focused towards this type of ventures wherein they can certainly add value to the real nature. They will not allow any natural products to be wasted. They find value. So these value added propositions could be done for this type of generation of some spiritual idols, and both are of temporary and of permanent nature. They do not damage the nature. They will conserve the ecosystem. They are friendly. They do not change any climate differences. So in that way, now it is time for the student to get themselves exposed to this type of skills. It is more a skill operated one. Like we call vegetable carving, fruit carving, ikebana, bonsai. So these are the skill related activities. Likewise, in days to come, let us come out with a plan of skilling the formulation of some of the structures and idols, and they could be preserved. They could be preserved and they add value to the some of the small groups, maybe the students group or a community. They can use this activity as a income generation activity. So they can use their product, their unemployed or otherwise the time could be for a generation of substantial revenue. So these are the opportunities we can able to find with the biological applications of these plant-based structures. So that about the usage of the natural products. Then when we talk about this terrace gardening, this is yet another activity where we can conserve the environment, we can add value to the environment, we can add value to our own usage of productive manpower, and this will be a substantial and a sustainable activity. Now nowadays, this is the activity which is be nowadays added with some scientific touch. But nevertheless, earlier also, as we talk about this conservation education, this activity was also quite quite predominant in the age-old things. Now people used to grow in their backyards. They used to raise some climbers. It used to cover their thatch and it used to cover their huts. So likewise, the terrace gardening has been a cultural activity with us, and now the scientific touch has been given to that. So thereby we can certainly mitigate climate through this terrace garden and vertical garden. These are all value-added activities, and the family can produce their required volume, types, and quantities. nowadays in the dietary system, what is happening is each family has been designed with the specific requirements of fruits, vegetables, and this plant-based requirements on a daily basis. As against 450 grams of fruits and vegetables per day requirement, now we have to schedule it as to how much should be the vegetables, how much should be the fruits, how much should be root vegetables, how much should be the salad and all. So in that context, the ideal would be to get into this terrace gardening or roof gardening we call. So with this, we can produce the family required calories of food by using the waste product itself as input for the cultivation of these crops. The house waste could be converted as some of the manure. They could also be used for holding the moisture, and we need not get external inputs for production. So that's how this terrace gardening has a greater impetus in nowadays. Now you can see this in both urban areas, peri-urban areas, and several programs have come through. Many people are guiding on that. Many training programs have been given. Why? Because this is a very self-sustained activity. Why? Because this is going to give the caloric food to the individuals and to the family. And this is a low-cost, accessible and affordable activity. But only thing is, this need to be technically guided properly. So in that regard, technical planning for the production of terrace gardening is very important. See, there are some apprehensions whether this terrace garden is going to damage the structures, building, etc., etc. No, by proper planning, by using such structures which are again low cost, maybe some bamboo-based structures or plastic-based structures or a mix of bamboo and plastic. So thereby they will be the permanent investment for years to come. So with those structures, we can certainly produce varieties of plants, be it annuals, short duration crops, be it biennials, medium duration crops, even perennials. Perennials like drumstick, lime, citrus, banana, all those things could be grown on your terrace. So that's how there is a range of scope for this type of vegetables and crops. Condiments could be grown, medicinal crops could be grown, spices could be grown, vegetables could be grown, fruits could be grown. You see, all this range of routine requirements could be met out with this activity. So that's why the students are being exposed for this type of activity, and they'll be very eco-friendly. And here the most advantage is we are making it very environmentally friendly. We are not going to use any such harsh chemicals. They're all plant-based chemicals. They are easily accessible, and there won't be residue in the products, the vegetables and the fruits. One can consume very easily. There's a very safe and healthy outputs you can see, and with this both body and environment will be safe. That's why we say the agriculture and horticulture are these scientific and art courses which are going to be the food for body and food for soul. You see, this is how this becomes a hobby, this becomes a habit, this becomes a family activity. So all can able to involve. So with this, the younger minds are going to be trained towards the nature, towards the environment, and appreciating the plant system. And also they can appreciate the value of food. So these are the outcomes we can expect out of this type of activities. And I'm sure under the Earth series of our activity, which the university has now initiated, these type of initiatives will be introduced for popularization and for adoption. And we're also going to document some of the these activities performing personalities as models for in days to come. So these are certain things we can you can certainly analyze and look from the universities, including the BESTIU University, and we are now the talented teams with the students and the mentors. We are going to come out with the documents pertaining to the skill for biological structures development, which gives, A to Z flow of the activity, and therefore it is supported with a short-term certificate course. You see, the production of terrace vegetables, the terrace gardening activity, production of this biologically based, idols preparation. So then biologically used structures for painting and art activities. So all these things are going to be a part of our short-term certificate program, which are going to be conducted online.
Thank you.
It may be a short-term program, and I'm sure that the viewers can able to look at this university for this type of short-term programs. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much, Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, for adding the valuable inputs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very sorry to inform, as you can see, Dr. B.K. Singh ji, he was with us in the conference. Unfortunately, his laptop, the microphone is not functioning. Therefore, we would have to postpone his talk for next week. Every week for the Earth series, we try to ensure that we get two expert speakers who have ample amount of time to offer their comments and offer their expert advice to us. However, we'll try to reach Dr. B.K. Singh ji and bring him for the future conference. Also, I would like to take this as an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to wish all the women folk across the world on the Women's Equality Day. We are celebrating the Women's Equality Day to highlight the role of a woman in transforming the society. We are led by inspirational leaders. We have leaders such as, we have our own Chancellor, Dr. Rupa Vasudevan ji. We have the leader, the founder of World Women Leading Change, Dr. Ayla Devi. We have Dr. Alice Kamunge from Africa. So we are led by all these visionary women leaders. And on this Women Equality Day, I would like to, Women's Equality Day, I like to send best wishes from the Best Innovation University, Women Empowerment Cell, and the NSS cell of the Best Innovation University. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we wrap the session here. Yes, Dr. Manmohan.
I'm able to see Mr. Singh on the screen.
Yes, Honorable Manmohan, sir. We can see him on the screen. He has joined the conference. However, on his laptop, the microphone is not functioning.
Okay.
Right, sir. Right, sir. We would, I think we do not have any other speaker right now. I would request you to conclude the session, sir.
Thank you very much, Shazil. Really, though we planned for 2 speakers, we missed Dr. B.K. Singh. Anyway, we will catch him for the next session. And we are really grateful to Dr. Rivka Afar from Israel, Arava Science Center. It was really very good talk she has given about the kind of work they are doing in their center in the desert area. Very amazing, as the Chancellor just now said, the progress of Israel in terms of quantity and quality of fruits and vegetables with almost 0 water is really very, very fascinating. In fact, I was also thinking that somebody in this webinar could tell how they are doing and see all those pictures and all about their real work. So that would be a great learning, because India has a very large arid and semi-arid areas, and Israeli technology has been tried in many places, including in Andhra Pradesh, our former Chief Minister's constituency, Kuppam area. A large project was taken with Israeli technology, and something has been done there with great success. So they hold a lot of promise for such a water deficient area. And despite all the problem, they are producing very, very high quality fruits and vegetable. And even the milk production is the highest per capita production of animal is highest in the world. Something about 35 to 50 liters milk per animal per day. Whereas in India, it is just about 3 liters. So how they are able to achieve, how they are harnessing technology is really a great thing, and we all must learn. So today it was a very good exposure from her side, and how they are even training the next generation, the children. They are exposed to environment science so that they become sensitive to the environment protection. Generally, many times due to ignorance, we don't care for small thing. Like in the photo which Dr. Rivika was showing, some plant, desert plant, looks very insignificant. We may just like to ignore it. But what is the contribution of that plant? That we must understand from our childhood so that we protect such plant. And as he was telling, they are very good for medicines, producing even anti-cancer drugs from such plants, and fodder for animal, shed for animals and plants, nectar and pollen and whatnot. So such kind of exposure from early childhood will really be very beneficial. And in that direction, our university is trying to expose our students to various systems, various situations. Is really a great initiative. And such kind of the exchange of information from different parts of the world. Last time, Dr. Aila spoke about how the buildings can be designed to suit our environmental needs and our lifestyle, how it can promote our health. These kind of things are very good things, and we never know unless somebody tells us, some experts who are working in that area. So knowledge should come from all sides. As our Rig Veda said last time, I was telling, let the noble thought come from all sides. So by this we understand the greatness of nature. We may ignore because of our ignorance, and with all the great discoveries and advancement in science, even today we cannot produce a blade of grass in our lab. So that is the nature which cannot be emulated, cannot be made in our lab. So we are still deficient in our knowledge. We cannot presume that we are superior. So with that kind of understanding of nature, we must live with nature and harness its good thing, preserve it for future generation. That is the message we got today from our special guest, Dr. Rivika Ophir, scientist from Israel. And we are really grateful to her. I think she has now left this conference. And we are also grateful to Dr. B.K. Singh, who allocated his time, but however, because of technical glitch, we could not hear him. And we are also grateful to Dr. Aila Al-Jufri from Indonesia, who is part of all the webinars. And last time she spoke very well about totally a new concept, a new thing. I'm really grateful to Ambassador Alice Kamunge from Africa. She's also part of our conferences, and she's also present today. I'm grateful to the Chancellor of Best Innovation University for her intervention and her sharing of knowledge and moderating also in between. I'm also thankful to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. D.L. Maheshwar ji, for contributing in this webinar. And also grateful to Shazil Ahmed, who has moderated very well this conference. I'm also thankful to the faculty members of Best Innovation University and the students who have joined this webinar. And I'm sure they will definitely be benefited by this experience sharing. And as I say, knowledge is power. So unless we know things, we are really powerless. So we must contribute to our nature. We must contribute to our own future, and that will happen only if we are aware of what is good, what is bad. Last time some speaker was saying intelligent living, that is awakened living. We must be conscious of the consequences of our action. Today I am taking some action, I am putting chemical fertilizer in the field. I must know what is the consequence of it. I am using plastic. I must know what is the consequence of using plastics. So that is called awakened living. So all this kind of webinar series will definitely aid to this knowledge system, and ultimately we start this awakened living for our own benefit, for the benefit of nature, and for the benefit of future. So thank you all for coming and contributing to this webinar. And with this, we conclude this webinar. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, everyone. We'll come back with the next session on the upcoming Wednesday with the Earth Series Part 4. And also on Saturday, we have the Agriculture Technology and Global Food Security webinar at 12 p.m. IST. Request you all to join. Thank you very much.